Happy Monday, everybody. All right, I'm going to start this week by asking you, the viewer, a question. What's the largest living organism on Earth? Well, I've heard a few different answers. Blue whale, but they're not on Earth, they're in the ocean. All right, maybe the giraffe or maybe coral reefs. The answer actually is aspen trees. Actually, technically, there is one organism that's larger. It's a weird fungus, it grows under the soil, but this is something that we can see. So let's stick with aspen trees. The aspen trees are the largest living organism visible on Earth. And there's actually a specific grove in Utah, I believe, that is the largest grove. What makes aspens interesting is that when you're looking at a grove of aspens, it's not a bunch of different trees, it's one organism. Each tree shares the same DNA with all the other trees. What happens is there's an interconnected root system that sends up shoots through the soil that make it look like they're different trees, but they're not. It's one organism. All right. So who cares? Why are we talking about aspen trees, especially when Greg and I manage investments? Well, there's actually an analogy here. Why do Greg and I look around the planet at different currencies and different wars going on and different governments decisions going on around the world? Because they're all interconnected. And I'll give an example. Right in a missive or two ago, Greg was talking about a Japanese bank being bailed out by the US Treasury. Why were we doing that? Well, right now, in the headlines is this term called the Japanese yen carry trade. Now, that's a lot of complex terms, but basically what it is you can borrow from one country and loan to another and make money on the difference. Now, with Japanese yen, they've been charging very little interest and paying very little interest on their currency. Meanwhile, the US government, we need borrowers to loan us money so we can continue spending going into debt. Well, all of a sudden, Japan's economy is starting to show cracks in this system, and so their rates are going up, which makes their investments more attractive. So institutional investors that might have invested in the US dollar are now moving their money to Japan. And it's all a complex system that's all interconnected. So when you see one country changing rates versus another country, it has direct impacts on all of them. So back to that analogy with the aspen grove. If you kill or poison one aspen, you could actually poison the entire grove. Same thing happens with currencies around the world, which is why the US Treasury was bailing out that Japanese bank. Even though it's a different country with a different currency, they're all interconnected. So that's why Greg and I are looking at this, and I thought it would be useful to you. Now, regardless of these US currencies, they're not backed by anything tangible or hard. Now, there are the BRICS countries that are talking about doing that potentially, and I think that would be a good move. But in the meantime, that's exactly what we're investing. Hard assets, not currencies that can be manipulated and swapped and carry traded. We're investing in hard assets that you're seeing them. They're going up in value because of demand and investors like safe havens. And so that's why they're going up. All right. I'm going to leave you with that. And hopefully you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. Take care.